Okay. Hello, my name's Edward Bolton, and this is my capstone proposal presentation. What I want to do is a book called Wipeout Game Over, and it's tied into my research. So, a little background. Yeah, I said I'm Edward Bolton. I'm getting a four-year degree. I've gone to both UH West Oahu and Windward Community College. Came from Kailua High School, grew up here my whole life. Creative media major, and I'm just doing a general creative media degree for my concentration. So my executive summary, I'm planning to write a full-length novel for the capstone project. It's going to combine elements of religion and video games to talk about our current world with a sort of a mix of philosophy. I'm going to get right into the number two on my next slide. I want to deliver a book that connects religion and video games together in a way to talk about the angst and the beauty. Both have never been more popular in terms of their growth globally. So I thought it was something important to do. My research dealt with the way that religion and video games have mixed and made meaningful art together. A lot of them take inspiration and even use themes that kind of cross between the two of them. And I'm going to use the research that I conducted in this pre-capstone age to era to get it across. So my thesis statement, humans are naturally driven to find meaning, and throughout history, religion has been one of the most profound ways that they've explored their existence, often through arts of various kinds, everything from writing to mosaics or various other forms of art, even things like sand for Buddhism in Tibet and places like that. Um, okay, explore. In modern times, this hasn't really changed, and religion continues to be practiced and experienced in various ways, including through video games. Just as diverse as religious belief is around the world, there are beliefs are equal. Games are equally as varied in the ways they explore human emotion and our condition. And the first avenue I'm going to explore is the role of religion in video games and storytelling as a whole. And I want to do this through this book, essentially. So, my objective, very simply put, sorry, moving this out of the way. The objective is to deliver a book that connects religion and video games together, and it talks to people about the angst and beauty of both of them because of its popularity. Now, this book will bring them together into a narrative context that's going to comment on both of them, and this will things religion and video games have mixed in the past, and I want to do it, bring it back to the written word, so to speak. Storytelling and narratives began verbally, then written down, and this is a new medium. So to kind of explore that, bring video games into the written word backwards, I thought would be really interesting. Um, so my plans. What is this project ultimately? I hope to deliver a fictional novel that combines both video games and religions in a ways that explore them both in their broader themes of society and technology. I will create this novel and make it available for everyone on Amazon for a reasonable price. The research has focused on the understanding of the ways that video games and religions have mixed over time, and this should allow me to create a narrative that comments on both of them in profound ways and tie in other themes of our modern age. So, significance with the rising number of global gamers and adherents of religions globally, we're likely to see the continued mingling of these two elements in our society. The new medium of video game continues to be culturally relevant, and how it's going to interact with religion in the global cultural landscape in the coming decades is going to be, and coming centuries is going to be very fascinating. I wanted to contribute to a work that will address these two very relevant parts of our society together, because I think for various reasons I'm going to go into, it's going to be very relevant in the coming future here. Okay, number one, significance. Video games often draw from religion for their imagery, especially. However, much of that imagery came from the written word or oral tradition, right? And this is returning it to the written word with video game imagery as well, unique imagery that is distinct to video games. Think health bars or hearts, these kind of abstract symbols that you see within games, right? And I think it will open up many new possibilities to the craft of making interesting narratives that are currently very underexplored. So future implications, by mixing these influences together, we can talk about the relationship of our modern world to our past, because these are very kind of time different things. Religion, very old, video games, very new. I want to kind of bring them together in synthesis in a way that can unite our future and past in a fashion that provokes reflection in us about our world as it is today, the past, and the future, right? Significance too. With game development growing in non-Western countries and with growing religious populations across the world, we're likely to see the rise of many games and books that explore local religions in these various places in different ways, alongside these countries' economic development, right? A good example would be Poland with the Witcher series became a national treasure, and it explores a lot of Slavic religious belief in it in a very authentic way that is unique to the country of Poland. We're going to start seeing that. We're going to start seeing depictions of religion and culture in games native to their country, right? These native countries are going to be telling their stories rather than from a Western perspective, and it's going to be an increasing quality with their development. The next ideas of art will greatly affect our world, both games and religious beliefs. So I think it's going to be a very interesting time, the way we're going to see these mediums and cultural aspects of our life intermingle in the future. Okay, some data. So supernatural books, things that deal with spirituality and beliefs, particularly those in fantasy or paranormal spiritual beliefs, they continue to perform well in the market. We have an example of Rebecca Yarros, Fourth Wing, and Sarah J. Maas titles like Court of Thorns and Roses. They've sold hundreds of thousands of copies this year, showcasing a strong demand for this kind of fantastical and supernatural narrative. In addition, adult fiction, which includes many supernatural subgenres, grew by 8.7% in sales in 2024, with a notable portion of this growth attributed to fantasy-related genres. Another growing trend is the success of self-published video game-related content for platforms like Amazon, seeing a significant growth both in print and ebook categories, right? So in 2024, self-published books made up 31% of all ebooks sold on Amazon. So you can see that it's a growing market. There's a demand. People care about religion, they care about spirituality, and they care about video games. Many of the books benefit from a broad, many of these game-based books benefit from a broad multimedia ecosystem. Games are adapted into TV shows and movies, such as the Witcher novels, which The Witcher started, as I mentioned before, it started as a group of books, and then when CG Projekt Red adapted it, the video game went viral, and we saw a lot of sales, and the cultural impact of the Polish people reached a broader audience. So it shows how a classic piece of media dealing with these themes of spirituality and local culture exploded out when it mixed with video games. So these genres are increasingly mixing together in a profound way. All right. Target audience. I want to target an audience for people who enjoy supernatural novels and drama. I want to draw on people who love video games and anime by making a cover in an anime style and with video game elements that I think might pull them in and be eye-catching, right? So people like supernatural video games, anime, lovers of drama and philosophy. A lot of people with these kind of hobbies. Proposed solution. The intellectual significance of the project to my fellow writers is that video games have become more and more important. Let me just move this down. Okay. And to the industry as a whole, games have become more and more complex. Games are now the highest revenue grossing form of art that exists in our world, and more people than ever before across the world have access to video games, and that's only going to grow. We've seen video game classics shape people across the world, such as Nier Automata, or Disco Elysium, or Red Dead Redemption, and many more. By bringing together things that people care about, being their faith and their religious beliefs, whether in a sincere, devotional way or as a part of their culture, together with video games, in a novel that explores them both, I think I'll be able to really draw out a lot from both of those subjects as they cross over. Um, so this is my preparation and process. So fundamentally, the pre-production, I'm going to be finding information on how to publish through Amazon and studying best how to deliver a compelling narrative, and find an editor to help me with this project to make it a professional product that can fully realize the vision I have here. Production, writing the book, revising it with the editor, prepping it to get fully published, making sure that I get feedback, and making sure it's easy to read and explores the themes adequately, from both sides of this, in the religious sense and also in terms of it being a video game, right? And like I have a general kind of time scale, right? I'll probably have about 5 months or so. I've already done some pre-production. Over this break, I'm going to do more preparing for it. I have a clear plan of writing a decent amount of pages every day and doing revising and really dedicating and diving myself into it. So post putting the book on sale to the public and making physical copies available, I'm also going to market it and make sure I get good cover art for the book and any other remaining details that might occur or be needed. Okay, deliverable. This project will be working with an editor, hopefully, who has the experience to guide me in accomplishing a completely printed book, about 300 pages, maybe more, maybe less, but at least about that much. Hopefully available both in paperback and a hardcover, to your standard with up to the standards of your average Amazon book, right? Originally commissioned artwork, a table of contents. In addition, there may be a section where I talk about my life and a bit of the process of writing the book, and just some personal thoughts probably as well. I'll be looking up information for publishing in articles, YouTube videos, and books as well. Deliverable. I'm going to have a full Amazon sale page with info on the book, the price, dimensions, weight, description of the plot, tags of the genre, author page, possibly at some point an audio reading of the book, and I'm hoping to find a way to promote it so people can enjoy this book more widely. I'm going to have a finished physical book, about 300 pages in length. It's going to have a focus on a game in a supernatural world of water in which contestants must struggle to survive various challenges as they are brought deeper and deeper from this pinnacle mountain. Drawing from a cast of diverse religious backgrounds for the contestants and video game mechanics, it will center around human drama for them as a group and their past in relationship to their current person who's hosting it, called the developer. The project will try to sell, I'm going to try to sell it in paperback and hardback, as I've said, but I want to develop a narrative where I can talk about ideas that have been developed between these spaces. Thank you so much. Any questions?